Welcome to greyprimer.com. My name is Nick, I'm your host, and on today's episode we're going to be looking at, the Shieldwolf Shieldmaiden Infantry / Rangers Krumval Northern Alliance. Catchy. I'm kidding. The name is fine. It tells you exactly what's in the box, you know. What problems I've had with Shieldwolf in the past, their boxes in particular, is that sometimes they don't show what the actual minis look like on the box. So you gotta stand in the shop and Google it and, be like, oh, is this actually any good inside? I have high hopes because the bar has been set high by the first unboxing that I did, the Sisters of Talarium. So let's see what the Shieldmaiden Infantry / Rangers look like out of this. Alright, so let's have a look at Shieldwolf Shieldmaiden Infantry Rangers from the Krumval Northern Alliance. We previously unboxed the Sisters of Talarium set from the Kingdom of Talarium. Yeah, they were fun to put together. Huge amount of options for building them. And some really cool artwork on the box. And I previously commented that they didn't have any images of the minis themselves in the box, which I thought was curious, and it'll be interesting to see if this is the same story. Up front, we've got some really nice artwork again, which we got in the Sisters of Talarium as well. We had some beautiful artwork, really dynamic, really sort of like mid-battle, pretty exciting stuff. We got this angry dude with a boulder in the background, this crossbow-wielding warrior up front. There's the information, Shieldwolf's brand here. We've got 20 multipart hard plastic 28mm scale figures and all the details. But very cool. On the edge we've got concept art, same info on things, and then on the back, yeah, just like the sisters, the Shield Maidens here have no actual images of the miniatures on the box art. This is, again, something that I would be cautious of, because as a purchaser, like looking at this in a game store, you would have no clue what the quality of the minis is like. I just think it's a missed opportunity to get a few minis on here, a few sort of done up in, get them painted, get some nice photos taken of them, and have them on the box art. This concept art is beautiful as well. But still, I think let's get an idea on the box of what you're getting. That's not just a list of all the bits and pieces, as we see here. So let's check it out. Oh, there's some here. Lots of plastic. What else do we have in the box? Okay, so square 25mm bases. Very nice. What do we got? 3 of the same. Yeah, so 2 of those sprues and 3 of these sprues. So let's check this out. Okay, we've got, looks like a right arm holding a crossbow, cloaks, quiver of arrows, more cloaks and crossbows. We got our main body with legs attached, which is nice. The back piece for the body, same as the sisters. We got our shields. Okay, I'm gonna get some more light onto this, so bear with me. Got shields there. We got a nice banner. Look like crossed gauntlets at the top of the banner. That might be their logo. Sigil. That looks like a horn blower. Ooh, that is a big sword. That is a lot of metal and a very small amount of wood to hold it by. I guess that could be metal as well, wrapped in leather or something. But that would be a burden. That's the size of someone's, bigger than a leg, I guess, but cast in solid metal. Yeah, that's going to be dragging along the ground behind you after a few yards of walking with it. You got an open, what looks like a left hand there, right hand with a small axe. Nice sort of design on the axe itself there. Is that a Morning Star? Is that what that's called? I've never seen one with that sort of hook at the end and the mid handle. So maybe that's just a fantasy weapon. Very cool though. Smaller axes, more reasonably sized sword, but still a chunk of metal there. Slightly more ornamental sword. They're always going to be tough to sharpen. A small dagger, which is kind of cool. A balled up fist left hand, another sort of balled up fist left hand. And you get 3 of those sprues. That's pretty neat. Here we have the other one. So I'm hoping they're heads. And sorry, I'm going to go back to that previous sprue and just flip it over because we didn't really see the fronts of the main torso pieces. So yeah, similar to the sisters, we've got well-armored bodies. None of this messing about with exposed skin. These look like winter boots, leg coverings. And then we've got armored tunics and full chainmail there throughout. So nice, the dagger across that one. Maybe an animal pelt on that one there. Space for a little bit of personalization on this one, center frame. And again, for the other 2, lovely details. So this is the other sprue. There are 2 of these sprues. Yeah, a little bit more motion there in where the legs are. But not really a huge amount. It's not a huge complaint, is it really? But because we're so spoiled now with a lot of the dynamism and poses you get with minis. I mean, these are the detail more than makes up for how static they are. And with the ball socket joints on the arms, you can definitely have sort of motion represented that way. And you can have the head turned to one side or whatever because they're ball and socket as well. Let's see these sort of face details. Pretty cool. Yeah, lots of movement in the hair. So, am I sort of imagining these standing, waiting on a battlefield, fully ready to fight, and the wind sort of whipping their hair? But that's the only thing sort of moving. They're sort of stoically standing there as a unit, waiting for the battle to kick off or something. Yeah, okay. I can live with that vision of these warriors standing waiting for it to just kick off, you know? Decent detail on the faces as well. The sisters were pretty straightforward to put together. I know I put the shoulder armor on upside down to what it was supposed to be, but with no visual reference on the box of what the miniatures looked like constructed, I was kind of just winging it. Certainly no instructions in the box. I think these are going to be straightforward to put together. I didn't have major issues with the other ones. I'll enjoy sort of adding a little bit of personalization into them, trying to move the arms in a certain way to make it look like maybe there is a bit more motion in it. With the poses on the lower torso being so static. We'll see what we can do there, and really happy with these. Can't wait to see them built. Back soon. Alright, so we're back with the Shieldmaiden Infantry Rangers. So yeah, a weird thing kind of happened when I was putting these together that I kind of lost count. I thought, have I got an extra sprue? Did something go astray there? Why have I got 24 minis? When on the box it clearly says 20 multi-part hard plastic miniatures, and I have 24. So, then I looked, and I was like, I must be going mad. Apologies for this, by the way. Shieldwolf, I'm sorry. They, when you have 9 cats in your house and one of them sees a cardboard box, they just assume that I should live in there because I can clearly fit into that tiny space. Never mind, it's a fully grown cat, and yeah, he could barely get his paw in there, but anyway, that's what happens when you have little Wolverines knocking around the house. So yeah, anyway, looked at the back, and it's 24 bodies. So 24 bodies, and then all of these extra bits and pieces, options for 30 non-hooded heads, 4 hooded heads, 25 shields, but 24 bodies. 20 minis. And without even realizing I was doing it, because I just had them on kind of like a, I just had them on a production line. When I was putting them together, I was watching a movie or a Netflix show or something. That's only when I started to count them out that I thought something's wrong here. And then I was worried that I'd mixed up the minis or something from different sets that I was building. But no, you were able to get 24 miniatures out of this box, which is fantastic news and great value for money. Even better value for money than they normally are. What do I think? How did they build? They built beautifully. I had previously put together the Sisters of Taliarium kit from Shieldwolf and found them to be a lot of fun, a lot of different sort of poses and stances that you can do, lots of variations on the sort of the positions of the heads and the arms and everything, but it just ran aground a little bit for me because the hands were really fiddly and tough to get on there without sort of gluing it like crazy. But anyway, I had done a little bit of that myself because I'd clipped off their weapons. And I didn't do that in this case. I said that I would be leaving the weapons on for the sake of the video and then clipping them off afterwards if I was planning on using them in a different game that didn't require weapons, such as Blood Bowl. And here we go. Let's have a look. Loving the Wonder Woman headband. Lots of chainmail armor there. Detail on the chainmail and the hair and everything is very cool. Lots of sort of feeling of that someone standing out in a battlefield, windswept and ready to get stuck in. Another one here, lots of windswept, mouth open in a bit of a roar. Huge sword in the hand there. And a really great pose. Nice detail on the animal skins as well. I actually really like the sword designs in this, and I'm sort of reluctant to clip them off because some of them look very cool. I mean, look how neat that is. And lovely and straight as well. Loving the mostly shaved head. Like, no messing with that one. Absolutely. These are seasoned warriors by the looks of things. Loving the capes as well on some of them. Just gives it that nice, and again, like with the sisters, I tried to match the direction of the hair or, the clothing to the capes and stuff to sort of feel like the wind is coming in one direction. It didn't always work because you don't always have all of the options that you need for that, but I tried as much as possible. This is one occasion where it didn't really work, but there was such a small sprig of hair on the top that didn't really matter. Again, great armor detail. Lovely detail on the face here. And armored right down to the tips of her toes. This weapon, I believe, is a flail, according to the box. But it looks pretty serious. One of the hooded heads, still retaining nice detail on the face. The left arms did feel a little sort of static. I would have liked to have seen the hands open on some of those. As you can see, it's just sort of hooked at the elbow here. There was a lot of those arms in the box, and while you'll see with the previous mini, I did sort of tried to raise it up a bit there to make it a bit more visually appealing. And let's see, slightly different haircut here, sort of choppy at the top, and then this cool braid, swinging free, dagger on the back there, and the epic fantasy looking sword, tiny wisp of hair across the face too. Wow, Shieldwolf really have their ducks in a row, don't they? So this is a standard bearer. I just gave her a light axe in her hand. But I kind of had the hair whipping around as well, so almost in the direction that the banner is being whipped by the wind. But I love this little detail at the top of the banner. These severed forearms. That's very cool. Yeah, see the way those arms are with the hands open? Now, if you could do a few of those as our left arms, that would be very cool. Shieldwolf. Very, very cool. But nice detail throughout. Let's see this one. I was able to, with the way the heads work, the sort of ball and socket on that, the ball and socket on the arms, I was able to get some poses here that look like they're designed to be that way. I mean, this with the sword raised, the head pointing towards the sword, the mouth sort of screaming, the other hand balled up in a fist. It just looks like that's, if this was Games Workshop, that's kind of how that would be pre-designed, you know, that's how it would be sculpted, looking like that. But with Shieldwolf, I was able to make that happen with that mini and make something completely different happen with a similarly sculpted one, because of the joints. And like this design here, I wasn't a huge fan of these very, very wide swords. I can only imagine how heavy that would be if that was in steel or iron. And the way it is connected to the arm, it kind of feels like it falls across the face a little bit. I did a variant on that I'll show you afterwards, where I sort of hooked it over the shoulder. But it's a very sort of anime type of sword to me. Although I do love the big skeletal hand that goes across it. So I tried my best to have that as, make those sort of visually interesting with those weird swords. There's another version here. So yeah, just slightly different there. The hair whipping up. I dropped the sword a little bit, so it's more of a just about to be in a lunge there. I loved the hair on that one, actually. I thought that was very cool. And there's another one with the dagger on the back. Seem to retain their detail as well after being sprayed, which I appreciate. And another sort of one where it's sort of standing, looking over the battlefield, taking it all in. Love it. Whoops. Yeah, another Wonder Woman one there. Cool cape, cool hair. Let's see what else we got. Bigger sword. Another seriously heavy sword. I tilted the head slightly down in this one, just to give another variation on a pose. Not as huge a fan of this hair going almost straight up, but I guess if the wind is whipping around, your hair's going to go every which way. Another hooded character, and this was the variation I was talking about on the wide sword with the skeleton hand. Just sort of had it where it's sort of resting on her shoulder. I thought that'd be pretty cool looking, and it actually has worked out quite well. Feels very natural, and I'd say if you were carrying a sword around like that all day, you'd have it resting on your shoulder more than anything else. Huge dramatic sword, beautiful flowing cape. This is follow me and I will show you the way. Here we have one with a battle horn and with a flail. I do like that haircut. I think that one's pretty neat as well. Very choppy sort of hair, and a good representation on the armor there too. Nice detail. And mini number 23. Another one of those big swords. I think that's my favorite haircut. I just think that's savage. But good sword, good pose. And our final banner is this one here with that cool choppy haircut and the robe and everything going in the wind. Really nice. And just again, there's that lovely detail on those hands. Yep, so Only criticism really would be the left hands. A lot of sort of those clenched fist, folded arm kind of look. A little bit samey at times, a little bit awkward looking, but easily fixed with a slightly more relaxed arm, not quite at that 90-degree right angle, and maybe a hand that's partially open. But apart from that, and the fact that there's no images of the minis on the box, again, just like the Sisters of Talarium. Apart from that, I was really pleased. I think they look fantastic. I can't believe I got 24 minis in a box that is just listed as 20. Another fantastic kit from Shieldwolf. I am loving their stuff. I mean, Sisters of Talarium is the other one. There's a link in the description below to that video if you want to have a look and compare. But I feel they're on a par with the Sisters. And I've got to say that when I was actually putting them together, it felt very much to me like I could have been putting together a Games Workshop kit. So I don't know whether the CAD/CAM systems that they're using are the same, or they're manufacturing the actual molds that they use, the types of plastic they use. Something just felt very much like Games Workshop to me when I was putting them together. The mold lines had that same kind of feel to them. Those very light, kind of wiggly sort of mold lines that go along, you know, maybe you would notice it on on a thigh or on a forearm or something, that take a very light touch with the back of a blade to remove. They just felt like Games Workshop. So that was interesting to me. And certainly the level of detail that's in these minis, the quality of the sculpts. If you were to sort of have said to me that this was a Games Workshop kit, even having them on the sprue, I probably wouldn't have thought anything about it. I would have, just been like, yeah, obviously it is. Look at it. So that's interesting. Next up from Shieldwolf, I'm going to be doing the Mountain Orcs, but I think we're going to do something a little bit different on the next episode of Great Primer. One of the main reasons I got back into the miniatures hobby was as a sort of a relaxation thing after work. It was really sort of this sort of mental health break for me where I could just kind of chill out and put together some minis. And that's something I want to dig into. I want to talk about that next time where we're talking about the benefits, the mental health benefits, maybe even the skill set, the physical skill sort of benefits. We'll look at maybe the pros and the cons of the hobby in that area of health. And let's spend an episode just sort of digging into that and getting some good conversation going in the comments. Speaking of which, please feel free to comment below. You can like and subscribe, and you'll also see links to the Sisters of Talarium unbox that I did, and to Facebook, Instagram, our merchandise store. And that's pretty much it. I just feel like I got a bonus 4 miniatures here from Shieldwolf, and I love that. All good. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you the next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.